like knowing you, that would definitely be a thing, right?
Can't help it.
Exactly. Should I take the first game? I can take the first game.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'll just double check here. Hold on for a second. I'll share my screen. So we're playing. Can I say who we're playing? I can see it. You can see it. So this is the Christmas game. How much do you know about Christmas? Okay. Interesting.
Looks like a memory game.
A little bit. Also, being in a Jewish family, it's a little bit not my forte, but
I think
sure. Sure.
it's
Okay.
just the
Do I just click here? I think so, right? Because it's the day. Okay. It's the 17th today, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's like a calendar quiz.
Yeah.
What is the most popular decoration ornament placed on the top of a Christmas tree? That's a star, right?
No, angels.
Oh, wait, that's interesting.
Angels.
Well, it says most popular, so maybe there's just millions and millions of people in South America putting a Christian cross on top.
Wow, that's a trick question, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I, as a Dane, I would actually say a star, but angel, it's a Dane.
I would say star as well. Just
Okay, let's see.
Damn, did not know this. Okay. Oh, okay. So this is like one day. Okay, that actually limits Okay, interesting.
Oh, yeah, but that's kind of smart because then you are forced to open it only one per day. You can't really cheat and open the other ones.
Sure. But then if I come in the first time 17 days in, I feel like, whoa, could I not just play these other 17?
it would be nice to get a cheat code to go back in time or to leave them open.
Can I change?
Unlocked.
Will it work if I change the calendar of my computer? No, I think it's pretty much.
It doesn't indicate any open state on the 17.
Yeah, it doesn't, right? It doesn't know that it's just that could have been checked, done. You've done it.
Yeah, like a sense of progress.
Yeah.
And actually, now that all of us kind of were wrong on the actual guess, I'm almost intrigued to know, I don't know, how many got it right.
Yeah.
And what are the other questions?
Statistics would be nice. Also, maybe a source or something about where you can read how many people actually put a Christian cross on top of the tree.
It could even be some engaging content, like a video from YouTube that just sourced, which tells you the story about the Christian cross and trees instead of the angel. It could be many ways to do it. But another thing is it's a Christmas game, but it goes up to the end of the year. Is that a weird thing, or is it maybe just me?
It's a weird thing.
Yeah, it should end here, right? With a big prize. Yeah, it should be there. Yeah. Makes sense. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Should I will just stop my. There we go.
Do we say what we think?
On the 4 parameters?
I can only view.
Yeah, there you go. But okay, so what's is the score 1 to 5 on these 4 parameters? Is that how we do it?
Yeah, we can do that. And we are gonna agree on the score, right?
Are we?
We're not gonna write our own scores and then have an average.
Do we talk about what we think the score should be? Now we're really inventing things here on the fly. I like it. I like the creativity here. So 1 to 5, what on each? Should we say each of our score, and then we just find the common denominator of the thing?
Yeah.
So
or we eat. Yeah, I think it's everyone shouts their opinion,
Okay, so on idea level, so we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a one between 1 to 5, right?
Mhm.
Okay, idea level 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
Wait, what's good? 1 is good or 5 is good?
5 is great. 1 is bad.
Okay.
2.5.
Yeah,
I'll give us a
yeah,
solid 3.
I'm also like a 2.5.
Easy 3.
It's in the middle.
Yeah.
I think it's a tried and tested idea. Like it's robust, but it's as fun as the questions, which has nothing to do with anything else. You know, you
Yeah.
throw in the wrong questions, now it sucks.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
yeah, it's
But
a
I did.
safe-
I actually.
safe bet.
I agree. I very much agree on this assessment. And what about execution? So execution is the other one. Should we just let go? Or do we feel?
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready?
Ready. Two.
Two. And it's
Right.
I'll give it a 3 again. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I don't know. It's. I feel like there was nothing left to be desired. I think in the execution part, I think it was visually fine and it worked.
It's fair.
So I'll put it in the upper 50% rather than the lower.
Fair.
I think so.
Our
It was
expectations is in the cyberpunk thing. So
robust.
Yeah.
It was super robust. Like this would never break in a million years, solid. But I penalized lack of certain features that I was expecting, and I take that in the execution. But maybe then I shouldn't take it in the execution part.
That's fair. I think I had the same. So maybe that's more in the creative and the entertainment part where.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Then
I can agree with a 3 then. Then
three. I agree with 3.
Okay, I will take that into account. 3 across the board. Okay, so like creativity is the next one, right?
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
Did you want to say something?
No, I thought like if there's one thing that this game lacks is creativity.
Yeah. So you're on like 1 in this
Yeah.
case? Yeah.
One. But then again, sometimes like being like if you have a really good concept that's been done to death and you execute it great, you don't need to be creative because
Nope.
it works. So I think it's a very safe bet, very safe game. And if you could click multiple ones, I think we would have played with it quite a bit more. You add a top scores list, forget about it. I mean, it's a game of the year.
Oh,
No, creativity.
We haven't
I think,
decided yet.
yeah, we haven't decided yet. Yeah.
I would say creativity is that was not where it shines.
No, I agree. I agree. I feel bad being so harsh all the time, but I agree. I think I'm also on a 1 here because, yeah, it's missing like a little bit like the creative element. Like also like if you want to go, maybe it's more on the execution side again. Design wise, it could be it could have been ornaments. It could have been like it could be far more Christmassy. Also like in the question, but I was actually intrigued with the question, and that was more like it made me. The questions was like there were the 3 options I had made me question my knowledge, which I think was quite creative. But then I agree with Andreas. It's like it has to be, and it could be images instead of just like blocks. So then it felt a little bit more like, oh, that's the Christmas ornament I've also seen before. So I'm even more confused. So I think that's more the creativity part in my opinion.
The most creative thing was putting 31 days on a Christmas calendar.
I like that too. That was pretty good. But I also gotta say though, like in defense, you gotta come up with like 31 sort of intriguing questions and answer possibilities as well that kind of keep a balance.
That is tough for sure.
So
yeah.
Where to put that, because there's a bit of effort that goes into that too. And I think the concept is executed very strictly, right? You get 1 question a day, but that also means that maybe that's one game that you actually end up playing throughout all of December and not just for one afternoon when it's like just like a clicker game where you get tired of it.
Yeah, but that's also, then you assume that people don't come in the 17th, right? Because that means virality happened day one and everyone plays it for. So I think again, from experience of building probably more than 50 Christmas games for different customers over the last many years, that is a thing you design in early, right? That someone gets the virality 5 days in and then they're just behind on the score. No, you have to design something that makes me back on the scoring list, even though I came in 5 days later, right? So I think, but that's it's not negative. It's just more like thoughts for how to improve more than anything else, right? Yeah. But I agree with you. It requires a lot of work doing a content-based game more than a shoot Santa Claus game, right? That it requires other mechanics on execution level. So I agree with that.
Yeah. Shall we just give a quick?
Sorry.
On 3. We haven't decided it, but shall we just point it out? Okay, I'm gonna give it a 2.
1.5. It could be 2.
Yeah, 1.5, 2. I think.
But 2 is the ceiling.
2. We say
2 is the ceiling. But the thing is also I think the game has some merits that we cannot really cover with the 4 categories we have. There is something there that I like about it, but maybe I'll give it.
The last one is how entertaining was it, right? Would you keep coming back to this all the time, or would you just do it once, right? I think that's why the categories are actually quite well done there. Just to be honest.
Yeah.
But,
actually, I think it was more entertaining than creative. Yeah, and I think actually it was. So I don't know how other days would look, but the fact that I think the one that we clicked, it couldn't have gone better because we got it wrong. There's nothing more engaging than get something wrong, and then you want to click on the other one to see, okay, so how hard is this thing? And I think as the base idea, it's so solid but the good stuff that would separate it from the rest is what you build on top of it. Imagine that with a question like that, you actually have, like you said, a little explanation of why it is so. What's your source? Where do you have to live to have this answer? Have some extra stuff.
But also being the nerd, if there was as you said earlier, the source of this, I would have gone in Wikipedia for 20 minutes figuring out what the data is around what crosses, where, as you said, could be South America, right? And then I feel I learned a culture, a new aspect of it. So I think the entertainment could have been there, just a little bit more creativity and execution on it. I would probably have spent 20 minutes just looking at the result. That's just because I'm a nerd. But I think that's where the entertainment would have got me more oh, okay, this is interesting. That makes sense. So I think, but I'm still entertainment-wise, I still think it was short but fun. I think it's.
Yeah.
I think
how much time did people have to build it?
Oh yeah, that's a good question actually. Okay. So I think if we look at this, then the power of the execution of this particular project probably went into finding 31, which the person decided that to be not 24, of finding the questions and everything else. I think that's a lot of the work goes into that, I would assume.
Or imagine that they knew that we would judge this on one day. There's only one set of questions that appears on whatever here it is. Then I give 2 more points for execution.
You know what? I'm going to look at the public source code here. And I assume you really could. Oh, there's a JSON file for questions. I could have known the answers. Damn it. I should have hacked this. I should have cheated. Okay. Looking at this, I have to say, there is now I just want to say something here. It's the questions become a little bit more fun. Who stole Christmas? Who's the most popular Christmas playing feature toy that comes to life? I think there's some it seems actually some good execution on figuring out what should be in the question. And I think that's pretty good.
3.
Wait, what in entertainment?
Yeah, I think it's
also
a 3.
3.
Yeah,
okay. I think it's 3. And I think isn't it kind of a 3 overall? I think this is a perfect game to start the discussion because it kind of sets a baseline of everything works and everything's super basic, but everything works. exactly how it's intended.
Yeah, I want to say that, like, again, have built, scratch card games for DSB during Christmas. If you go too crazy, all the mechanics will not work. So I think that's an overall. So I think I agree with you. It's an overall 3. I think it could easily have been a 4 if they upped their game on the creativity part and the entertainment part. Then I think the other types have been, less important, right? So I think that makes sense. I agree. So who wants to go and play on the next game? Andreas?
Yeah, I can do that. Which one is it? It's the. Let me just see.
It's the tradition game.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. Wait a second. Do you see it? Okay, great. Okay, traditions. Funny quiz game. Finances learn different traditions based on images. Total number of questions 5. Okay, so a commitment.
Commitment's low. Yeah.
Okay, let's start. What is a cultural tradition you see in this picture?
Ooh, I know it.
Wait.
Oh,
It's Iranian or maybe Iraqi. Isn't that for the New Year's? No Rus?
Okay, so we have Iraq and wait, so 2 of them are from Iraq. The middle one doesn't say from where.
okay. So the question is more like, what is the cultural tradition you're seeing? So it could be too Iraqi. Like, it can be the Persian New Year, or it can be the welcome the guests to the new country, or it can be the first month of the newlywed couple. Okay, interesting.
All of them sound super believable. So
Okay,
whoever
just choose
came up
one.
with the answers is really good. But I'm pretty
I
sure
want to
it's,
do Wikipedia now to figure this out, right? But like,
No, wait.
I'm pretty sure it's Nowruz, the Persian New Year, because I can see there's a goldfish, and I remember that being an important part of signifying something about the new year.
Yeah, that's correct.
oh,
Okay.
I learned that from my flower man around the corner here.
Oh, you
He
learned.
always has a
All
nice
right.
setup.
Oh,
The
nice. Okay.
second question, cultural tradition.
Indian festivals celebrate species.
Oh, I get it. Okay, so every one of the questions is about one particular country.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is all about Indian
Yeah,
Hindu
right?
culture. Okay, yeah. I think that might be right.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
So then it's about what kind of tradition is it?
Like, I know nothing about this. I would assume the first, but I know nothing about this one actually.
It's the first one, right?
I assume.
I would say the first one.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's in the spring. It's also it's on the same day as Nowruz sometimes.
Oh my God, we're gonna break the score. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So where are we now?
Oh, that's Ice Bucket Challenge.
Oh, so this is Thailand, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let's get some of them wrong. I want to see how that looks.
That's a good idea, actually.
See,
Okay,
that was easy.
I think that's a good way to do it. Yes.
Okay. The fourth one, that's Egypt, right?
No, it's actually not Egypt.
No.
It's Jordan. No, is it? Is it not Jordan? No, it's
It
Egypt.
says Egypt here,
Jeez.
but
Sorry, it looked like Petra. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I thought of that too.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, but see, the picture doesn't. The picture shows a place. It doesn't show an action or a setup.
Unless that's how the setup is.
Unless this is a setup, yeah.
Okay, it could actually be the middle one. It's a tradition which is to press many tourists to come to Egypt every year. It was not okay.
Okay, but now we can actually.
It was literally believable. Oh, what are we? Oh, so this is the Fastelavn, right? Gækkebrev.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that will be the lowest one, right? But no? Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so we got 3 right, 2 wrong. Ooh,
Okay.
attempted,
Oh,
correct,
oh,
wrong
Yeah,
percentage.
stats.
Speaking to the nerd here, like, oh, 60%. Okay, I like it.
60.00.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a lot of margin. The 5th question.
It could have been 60.01 or no? I don't think that's possible. Oh, you can take it again.
Okay, so this is. Let
Oh,
me just.
it changes the order. Okay, that's at least a thing, man.
Let me quickly do this so we can see is there. Okay, it doesn't show an improvement. It just shows every state separate.
Yeah,
Every try is separate, or you can go home, and then you start here.
I don't think the scope here is with the data store, but that's a different. It's a different discussion. Is it part of the plan that they should do storage? No, right? I don't assume.
Okay, so I stopped sharing. All right.
Pretty nice overall. Again, pretty good effort on writing very elaborate answers to the questions.
Yeah, it took the same approach, right? I actually think this one engaged me a little bit more than the other one because it felt like it was like I'm going through a journey of things, right? But like the setup was the same, right? Like a set of questions and right and wrongs, etc. But a little bit more, I would say, more entertaining somehow. But it's also because it was. I agree with the questions. Like it tricked me to think a little bit about it. Like how much do I really know about Indian culture or. And I think everything looked solid. I looked into the code. There's some significantly different on the way code was written in this one, I think. No, very similar actually. A little bit more structured. Sorry about that. The nerdy side. Yeah. Okay. Should we go into the idea or?
Well,
Yeah,
idea
sure.
is very straightforward, as you said. I think it's really nice that they wrapped this up as a process, and it said you're gonna have 5 things. Then they give you 5 things. They give you the results, and they give you a chance to improve it. And then and so by doing this, you both learn something because repetition, and also you kind of get this that I want to get to 100% thing. So I think well, we're not supposed to compare it with anything, but I think that the idea is solid. Like it's
I think as you said earlier, you used the word a robust idea.
Yeah.
I think this is again like all the traditional gaming concepts are in play, right? Like I think this is a Trivial Pursuit type of Q&A type of thing, right? So I think the idea is solid, but it's not like exceptionally creative to do things, right? It's just like I think that's the way I look at it as well. So I agree. Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like that there's statistics in the end. So I like that it's a bit thought through, right? You have like the whole playing journey thought into it, which is nice. And I mean, we're not supposed to compare, but the statistics were also something we were missing from the last one, and it was fun to look at. I'll give this a 3.
Yeah, I can. At least it is very personal. I get more engaged with this type of thing than I do with like a thing that forces me to do a thing every day. But that's just the way I am. So I would go for a 3 on this for sure.
Same here. 3.
Oh, you're that's a 4, man. You're giving away. No, you're just giving it away. Yeah,
3.
3 makes sense.
Okay.
And then on what's the other category again? Then there was execution. I actually think this was a pretty. I even think there were more great mechanics in it, right?
Yeah.
Like you were seeing like the pops up. Yeah, exactly. It's almost like a
randomized list, because the second time it was a different order.
And even like the icon at the bottom, like boom, 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 different different colors. It was quite clear that I did something wrong. And I think also on the 4 here.
I think visually, it performed a bit poorer, because it was highlighting the it was highlighting maybe the wrong things. It had some clutter that it didn't need it. I think it was better technically than visually, but overall I think it's a 4.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Strong score. Wow.
Yeah, again, like if we talk about like feedback on it, like I think that the stories, like they could have been like simpler. Like it was a long thing from that, and that's also great. But like it could have been like more like, you know, New Year's Eve, Iranian, and then you could have invested more in doing more questions almost, or randomized next time. Like then it could be 5 other questions, right? So I think if we take it as a feedback thing, then that's the way you could have made it a little bit more engaging, I think, somehow.
Yeah, or giving like the correct answer after you click. It's like, correct, this is the Persian New Year. Like all these things.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Yes, at the end of the game, you can show a map with highlighting red and green of the countries you know most about or you know least about. Because if everything is really about countries,
Dennis, you're ignorant to Thailand. Okay, thank you. Like, okay, now I know.
with a link of cheap flights.
That's a good. Yeah, what's the business model of this game? Like, I like it. Like, but I need to.
But also, are we in creativity already? Because I mean, we weren't able to score a perfect score in the game, even if we wanted. Right? Like we deliberately got one wrong, but then the next one we actually got wrong.
Yeah, true.
So
True.
I don't know what that counts into. Is that creativity as well? Because like you got to come up with some like decently difficult questions to you know beat the average trivia knowledge of.
So let me answer your question. In my opinion, is more like creativity is like another way to do a thing that's, you know, where the entertainment is like, I actually agree with what you're saying, but I find it more entertaining that I become almost like, shit, I need to get all of them right now. Like then I like, you know, then I will keep going, and I think that's how a game keeps you redoing it. Where creativity could have been, you know, like the experience, the way it was, you know, designed, or the way you know, you have to build the flag to get the answer. Like, I don't know, like there could be so many ways to do this thing. And I think that's where the creativity in my view comes in. So I'll let us score it that way personally. So I think in this case, it's not super creative. It's like, it's just, you know, a form, a question, a thing. And it was like, but it was for me quite entertaining because of that mechanics around it. So I think that's how I saw it. Yeah,
I agree. I think I would give this only a 2 for creativity, because it's a basic quiz in the end. So that would be one of the first games that comes to mind. So even though it was executed very well and it was entertaining, and also the idea behind it, or the idea of the project was really good. I think that's the only one where I would give a bit of a lower score.
I agree.
I can agree with it too as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
By the way, let's give Benjamin some props for doing the some average calculations in here in the sheet as well. As a proper engineer nerd he is. I love him for it.
Is it set up?
2 seconds. My son needs to come into the room here. And
oh, there they are. Okay.
Wait, let's go ahead. The life of COVID, right? You know, kids and my wife in the noise. Perfect. There we go. I'm back. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries.
You cut that out of the stream, right? So
yeah, of course, blurred. Yeah.
Failure.
Entertainment. I was decently entertained. I think we all were.
Yeah. Oh. I think Yeah.
I think the fact that it had
at 3, I worry about going 4 because I don't know if I should like think like. It's also like what is our measurements here, right? Like
Yeah.
So I think I'm on a 3 on this one. It's very entertaining, but again the basic mechanics. But I felt like I want to play it again, but not for 10 times. I think that's maybe if it was like randomly changing and I could benchmark myself, I could probably play this thing 10 times more than just 2. I think that's the way that's at least my framing.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
If it had 15 questions, so you could play a different game in another round, then I would give a higher score. But otherwise, it was a 3 because I mean it had me very captured for the minutes that we were playing it. So
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm also 3.
Yeah, I'm also 3.
3.
And we cannot say anything about comparison because everything is relative. That 3 is relative to whatever we said earlier. Because so what we had earlier was like a single
scientist to just be like,
was a single instance of something, whereas here I think what we were introduced to is a journey, and then it adds another dimension. But at the same time, once you're done with it, then it's like, okay, what else is there? The other one had a single instance, and that us not being able to click on anything else created this desire to know, okay, what is there?
Sure.
So it had more fleshed out. Okay, this one had more fleshed out, like a single experience. But once you're done with it, then unless there's more, because the other one I think had a bit more of a like you're gonna come back the next day.
But you're talking about game mechanics here, right? Like people can be in. Some people are entertained by done. I'm definitely one of those. Like I'm not one of the ones who like go through like 100, levels of a game. Like I'll like to just like play and then I'm done with it. And it's a very individual game mechanic in my opinion. But I agree with the assessment you have. Like one will do this and the other. I think it's more of a game mechanic than entertainment and more of a personal entertainment problem or thing.
Because I think what's interesting here, without seeing the other ones yet, is that we had the ones we've seen so far. They were very similar in the essence. Here's a question. Here are 3 answers, and we had 2 different approaches to go about it.
Yeah, I agree. So, what did you give it, a 3 as well, or?
Yeah, it's a 3.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that was a long way to say.
Yes.
I thought you were going to say like I'm bumping into a 4.
Yeah.
But
or
I'm also I minimized the sheet so that I can't see Benjamin's running average or his sum. So I don't know if we're actually beating the score of the last game.
I will not say even
it
though
feels like we did, but I'm not sure.
Like, I agree. Okay, let's move on. Who's going to do the next one? Should I do the next one? Do we split between me and Andreas, or?
I want to do Wordify. I don't know if that's up next.
No, it's a speedy typer, which is not me, but like let's go for it. Oh, okay. Wait. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. This is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting because I'm a really poor typer. So I'm actually going to be very. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay, I need to. What you really value is what you miss.
Oh, it's multiplayer.
Oh, it's multiplayer. Oh, wait. Okay. Someone gets in here.
No. What? Multiplayer?
No, I don't think it is it? And then someone does the B. Oh. Okay, should I just do it now then? This is how bad I am. It's gonna be on camera. Jesus Christ. Not what you have got. Oh, I didn't click start. Oh, fuck it. Sorry for my language. Sorry. Yeah, I click start now. No? Oh, it's starting. What? You... jeez. Oh, jeez. Okay, this is kind of like stressing me out.
Oh,
Is what you miss, not what you have.
Oh, watch out, this mistake.
Oh no! Ah, damn it! Thank you, Grammarly. Okay. No. Yeah.
Okay.
They're doing like
Right.
auto correction. Okay. What do I do now? Okay, I'm super confused.
I think it just says that you're
I'm a
in
one.
position 1.
Okay. Would someone else go on this URL?
Can you check in the source code if it actually took the time?
I'm in it, but I don't see what you see. What if you
Okay.
type
It
in the
would be.
B?
Actually, he or she wrote a thing here. It would be with two players who will type random sentences. There is a timer on both. Okay. Let's try to do this again. Okay, I'm in there now. Okay, I'm sorry. I need to look at the source code now because is this person dealing with some sort of socket thing? Otherwise, this seems a little bit
So
uncomfortable.
I think what is happening here is that you open a single window. There's two
It's
people at the same computer, and
yes.
they just take turns typing into two boxes.
Oh, okay. So this requires a physically present, maybe not a COVID compliant game right now, but
Well, you can play against yourself.
okay. Okay,
Like
can you see if I can improve? Okay,
me against my past self.
I will. Okay, I'll give it a shot again. Okay, so I'll
Yeah.
do both,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh no. Aspire to in. Oh, I cannot read the.
Aspire to inspire before we expire.
Before we expire. Okay, that took
How
me
do you
7
stop it? Oh,
Okay, I'm just going to be very focused now and see if I can beat it. So actually, this would be a good way to challenge myself. Okay. I already fucked up. No, I did not. To inspire Jesus Christ before we expire. Bad fingers.
Oh, still made it.
What the hell? Oh. Wait. Okay, so I won over myself in this case.
yeah.
But it says the winner is B with 17 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
and then the A typer lost with 16 seconds. But isn't it about who's faster? But wasn't the typer B who got 16? Like the second time was 16 seconds. It was a bit faster.
It was. I'm just gonna restart it for a while here, and then what if I do this? Can I hack it like this? Oh, boom, done. Okay, took me. Oh no. Where I copied the. Okay, can I do this? Oh. Okay, it's a little bit buggy, right?
As in, it does the opposite.
It does the opposite. Okay. Okay. Should I stop now? I think so. I think we can talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's start with the idea. I actually like the idea. If it worked, that we could have sit each other like opposite each other, or like we could have done it async somehow. I think not that I had to sit together, because it's rarely not how casual gaming would happen online today, I think. Me being a really poor typer, and like it stressed me the hell out, but I actually liked it because it's just like it's fun, right? Like it's a little, you're trying to do it. I funny anecdote. This is how I learned to type in school. That's how old I am. That you had like a counter, and you have to like A, S, D, F, T, and you had like timer to do it. So the better you could be. So the idea could actually have been that more, like that you had to like train your muscle of like how to write on keyboard, and then you could test it writing a session, like a set sentence, but respect of time and all that stuff of the idea. But I kind of liked the idea. It was it was more the execution and all the other things, I think. Yeah, I don't know about you.
I feel similar. actually. I think and now it's interesting because this is a completely different thing. This is about speed mechanics. The other ones were about you knowing things.
Knowledge, like knowledge based. Yeah.
It's on the idea level. I think it's tried and true and could be fun. I think the execution was what killed it in the end. But as far as idea goes, I will just say 3 kind of in that range.
I think as well. Like it could, it could be. I don't know. Like I was just personal again. Like I have a 10-year-old son. Like we could probably have played this together on the screen. Just be like, okay, how quick is dad? Okay, how quick is me? Like, oh my god, I'm better than my dad. Hooray, right? So I definitely can see the idea and the appeals. I agree with the 3. It's just all the other parts of the mechanics or the execution of it that makes it a little bit. It's just sad that that didn't tie the knot. To be honest.
I think it had a lot of cool features, though. I mean, it was cool that it was supported by Grammarly.
I think that's like preview code, though. But say that, sure.
That was funny. The countdown starting. I mean, of course, the fact that you can copy and paste the text from above that's a shortcut. But
so the hacker in me,
more execution than idea. And I mean, meanwhile, I also opened it in a separate window to see if it was like web-based and if we could play it at the same time. But I also just like clicked through it and restarted a few times, and there were a lot of sentences though, so like lots of content that add to the replaying value. But I guess that falls in entertainment. Idea I would give 3 as well, probably.
And actually, I think the idea also ties with the creativity because we added that column as well. Actually, well, what I thought about is that so we saw different, like, we are comparing RPG with an FPS. This is an FPS where mechanics of it is the idea. So meaning if you cannot, if mechanics break, it breaks the thing. Whereas the other ones were more like an RPG. It was about the story, the words, the questions, where we were more willing to ignore the technical aspects because they were not important. They didn't break anything. Here, I think that's why it's maybe a bit unfair, but they decided to go for mechanics, and mechanics didn't hold up, I think. And that's why, that was the bottleneck, I think.
But isn't that squarely in execution?
Yeah, yes. It's just that the execution bottleneck kind of, it stops all the other ones kind of going further because we don't know how far they could have gone, those other metrics.
Yeah, so true. That's a very good analogy.
Yeah, this is an FPS. It's with a 2 seconds lag. Let's see. Final score
on the idea.
Oh, the idea. Oh, I think I said a 3, right? I'm sticking to a 3.
So you're creating a long anecdotes around them. That's probably why. It's purely out of love, Andreas. I'm saying it. So.
No, I'm just trying to kind of step back and to think about it, and actually, to be honest, I think it's so hard to put numbers on the first one, because I think we should see all of them, establish a baseline, and then say, okay, we have 2 types, because they're so different. The first 2 were so similar. This one is fundamentally different. Now I'm curious, what's the 4th one?
Someone kept that one to themselves, right? So now we're waiting to see that. So
okay, to finish rating this one first, right?
To be on the execution, I think it's a little bit harsh, but like we're getting to like the lower like upper 1s to 2 type of thing because there were mistakes. It was just a little bit like and it was setting itself up for being like cross-browser synchronous, like it's like from a design perspective, like an idea perspective, then it almost feels disappointing. Like, oh, I need to do this, right? And So I'm a little bit on a 2. I think there was like a lot of good stuff in there, like the counter and like starting it and being able to do these type of things. I think that's like that requires some more coding level than showing content. Not to diminish the work showing content, but it requires a little bit more execution to code that than anything else.
I'd also say it could be 4, but it ends up being 2 because a couple of bugs happened. So
I agree.
If you fly high, you can fall deep.
Yes, that's a learning on itself. Yes.
Yes, I'll also say 2. I think I would like to reward complexity, but then it fell short of that. Whereas the other ones, they said, "Hey, how about we just make something that works?" And then you could say they aim too low, but they hit it, and that in itself, I think it's very, very pleasing to see. Here, I could reward ambition and technical, complexity of it. It's a 2.
Yeah, I completely agree with the analogy before. If it all works and it was like a great fun experience, I could easily have gone for like 3 to 4 also. But yeah, just like tries but then falls, right? And but if I would give points for trying, I would be like 5, right? Like just go for it. Don't ever stop yourself again. Go code something difficult. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah. Idea. No, we didn't talk about it. Sorry, creativity. Yeah. I think pretty like basic. I think because you're writing and it's like a stressful thing because it's time-based, you could have done some creative stuff around stressing me even more out than I was because I'm writing on camera. Like that's probably why I was stressed about it. But like it could be like, like pop-up like colors, screens, and like change things so it makes it even more complex for me to keep writing.
Like it starts to blur and you can read it less and less.
Whatever. You could, right? So you have to remember it. Like I think you had the chance to do something very simple to make it like super creative almost, right? Where it's harder to do that with content sometimes. But I think here you could have said blur it, color it, like flick the screen, like move the box around. So you're like, oh shit, like okay, shit, I have to write it differently. Like, I think there's a lot of ways you could have done that super creative. But I respect the time went a little bit into more technical sides than being creativity sides maybe, and I think that's how I see it. So I still see it as kind of like I don't know. Yeah, I have to think a little bit for that. I don't know what you have comments.
It's a 2. Because so now I'm thinking, I couldn't help but I checked in that Google spreadsheet because I'm thinking, so when it comes to creativity, we have only seen one level so far. We've seen 3 things. We only saw one level. It's at the same level as everything else. Creativity. That's why I give it a 2. It's because actually, and it's because I am not giving it a 0 because actually when I think about it, so everything we've seen it before, right? So if you're really harsh, you could say, okay, creative stuff, like what did you put together that I haven't? So it's a 2.
If I would challenge that, I would say I think the 2 other ones, if we're really in comparison mode, were obvious choices. This was not an obvious choice. So I think being creative enough to take that chance to not do an obvious choice, hey man, I will reward that with a 3 any day, right? So I'm just like, I'm a little bit in that sense where like this person who did this took so many chances. So I applaud that more than anything else. But I agree with you what you're saying at the baseline of like from a creative design experience type of way. Yes, that is definitely a level the same. But I think it was creative enough to try to do something completely out of the box than just being sorry for whoever sees this, not that it's the anything, but it's like very safe choices where this is a little bit more of a bad choice, in my opinion.
Wait a second.
I agree.
Yeah.
So I will go for a 3, in my opinion.
I'm also going to give it a 3.
And it would have been a 4 if it all worked and we could play together. It would probably have been a 5.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Wait. Okay.
Did you change your mind now?
Those rules that were shared on GitHub. Everybody saw those, right?
I have not.
No, the game contestants. The contestants saw them, right?
Yeah.
Because in those rules it says, what is a game? How about you the one who types more scores? So in terms of that, I would say they just took it. They just took one of those and they made it. So creativity, and then that actually
You completely ruined it, man. You completely ruined it.
I did.
You completely ruined it.
Yeah, no, really. But so if there are no rules, actually, I agree. If there are no rules, there's nothing more traditional than Christmas calendar thing.
Yes.
But once you give examples and somebody takes that example, then creativity, you cannot reward it for choosing it. You can reward it for execution of it, of how far they went with it.
How annoying are you now?
On a scale from 1 to 5, I'd say it's a 3.
You killed it.
No, really. But I think that part should matter.
Yeah, I don't know. I will keep it a 3. I want to ignore that was the case.
No, my creativity score was a 2. So I don't change it. It's a 2.
Okay. And I will say 3, and you also said 3, right?
I also said 3, and because I have not taken time to read these rules properly, but I'm appointed as a judge, I will not allow myself to change my vote afterwards. So I'm just gonna stick by it.
I cannot be manipulated by
Exactly by the facts. No.
Okay, sure. I want to ignore but that's like saying like, oh, you came to a singing contest singing. Oh, how uncreative of you.
Yeah.
But yes, so but
because the other ones were like spelling bee.
Let's go for it. Are you gonna play the last? Are you gonna play the last one?
Oh yeah, now it's me. Now it's me who shares.
There's high hopes on this thing. Like you really. Oh, we did. I was actually quite entertained, but it was missing that. I don't know. It was just there was some. We talked about this 10 times now around the same. I'm a little bit. I'm 2 to 3. I'm a little bit unsure how to. Yeah.
I'm the same. 2 to 3. I think again, it's like this is one of those things where execution killed some of the entertainment. Because if execution was working, because even in the end they got the winner wrong, right? The wrong party was credited. That's entertaining. but to be serious, I think maybe it's a 2, because this type of a game rides so much on the mechanics, and if mechanics fail, I think it's one of those cases where a single aspect drags other aspects down because we couldn't see them work. So
yeah, I might play also on a 2 just because of the mechanics thing. I think I agree with that.
I mean, at the same time, like without knowing how the last game is gonna play out, but I'm tempted to give it a 3 just because, as you said earlier, Andres, it's the game that tries to be an FPS as opposed to the obvious choice, or more, like, it's not a simpler choice, but instead of an RPG.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've given overall lower grades than before, anyways. But I think I'll stick with 3 here because it is also a bit bold to go for a more mechanics-based game, and it entertained us fine for the time that we were playing it, even though it was mainly Dennis that was playing it and also adding to the entertainment, but entertaining after all.
Very cool. I just want to say I looked into the code, and this one went a little bit further. So I'm very excited to see the actual result of this game.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. Is it? Are you seeing it?
Yes.
Goody. All right, Wordify. Try to enter as many words as you can in 60 seconds. The longer the word, the more points. All words must be 5 letters or more. Well, now this is exactly the game that's described in the description, isn't it?
It's exactly. Yes.
I mean, that's of course unfair to the person who built it that we just discovered that, but
I just want
let's move that to the back of our heads and enjoy the game first.
Exactly. I think so because I have a feeling. I'm just giving hope here because I looked into the code and I'm quite excited to see how the mechanics, like the actual execution of this, because this person went a pretty interesting path here. But I don't want to give you a hint about something, so please play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, there was not that much time spent on ideation, so there's more time for execution.
Exactly.
Let's see.
I hope this is a 5 on execution. That's what I'm basically saying.
Type your word.
Okay.
Apple tree. Invalid. Okay. Conundrum. What? Okay. What? How do they?
It's
Snake.
exactly what I expected.
Okay. Shenanigans.
No.
Oh my god! I don't know any words. Help me. Mouth.
Okay.
Words. Words is a word.
I'll give you a simple word.
Okay. Ship. Yeah.
People. Service.
Must at least be 5. Oh my god. People. Yeah. System. Very good.
Policy.
Yeah.
Copyright. I'm literally writing from the
Employment.
list.
Hell yeah. Building. Someone said. Total scores for pretty decent, I would say. How many seconds did I have?
Books. School.
Yeah. Overall, pretty solid. Snake. Mouth. Words. You know when you have to come up with like passwords that are just random words in a chain and like.
Is this the end screen?
I think so. We're looking at it.
Very interesting.
So, no statistics.
So so here was the first trap that I hoped you fell in when you started the game.
Okay.
But you caught on that this should be English only because that was not stated anywhere. So like any words I was just like, okay, this could be anything. And the person downloaded the 10,000 most searched English words from Google and used that as a database, which I think from an execution point of view was smart, but like you very quickly battle tested the thing around writing shenanigans and stuff, right? But that was my point. I agree with that actually, because I would rather feel like, can you find 5 words that are, or say the other way around? I think that's a super good way to frame it. Yeah. So idea level, it is what it's written as the idea of the game. So I think there's no high score, right?
No, unfortunately not. But yeah, it would be so fun if it were a different set of words, like more specifically saying like, okay, what are the top 10,000 words that have been Googled in the past 10 days? Like if you could figure that out, that'd be pretty fun. COVID,
Donald Trump, etc.
Yeah, exactly. And would Trump be a word?
Probably not.
But conundrum is not in the top 10,000 words? Shocking.
That is a conundrum on its own. Anyways. Yeah, but I do applaud the person for trying to build a little bit more of a very technical approach to things here, but yeah, I fail a little bit on it. Yeah, I don't know. Idea-wise, what do you think?
It's so tough because I mean, you could say that the idea would be 0 because it was Benjamin's idea, and then we would have to say in the creativity, like how creative was the person within solving that idea.
That's execution-wise, right?
Yeah. So like it's a bit tough to pick where to take the points away.
It's your idea. Like you could have like,
Yeah.
no, yeah. I think the measurement we went for is 1 to 5, so I think it's a little minimum of 1 though. If you want to say that, but I'm on the level of 1 in this one.
I think it should be the same as the. It was the same idea, not the same. It was similar idea as the last one.
I would disagree with that because I think the other one had mechanics of speed with another person. So you can argue it's like saying Grand Theft Auto is the same as Call of Duty because you're running around shooting people. I don't think it's the same, right? So I think in that sense, I don't. At least that from my personal level, I think this is a low idea because it's even more obvious or even more like safe. I think the other one, like speed against each other, was a little bit more better idea in my opinion.
I'll give it a 2. I mean, well, because now this was the last one, right? So now we see the full picture, and now I'm sensing the scale, and I don't want to say that it was it wasn't the worst idea,
fair.
right? So I would then put it 2, because now we have 2 2s and 2 3s.
But you basically ruined it by highlighting the rules because
no. What I highlighted was the creativity.
I think we would have looked at this. Yeah. I think this would probably have been a 2 or 3.
That would have been a raging winner.
But
had someone not done their homework.
Because now those Christmas calendars don't look that bad.
I know who the player is in my head, and I've looked at the data. I think I was pretty sure that's going to happen. But I could agree with the 2 because if I ignore that there was a straight up rule, I think what was creative here is that it's the speed of writing many words. Like I think that's fine. I think, as I said about creativity, it could have been a 3 or 4 if it was top words this week, or like or the other way around, like try to guess the most used words in the English language, or like whatever way. I think so. I would probably give it 2 as well on the. You can convince me on that.
I think actually talking about the idea that some of the shortcomings of the game could have been the fun parts of the game, as you mentioned that if the game went a bit more strict, instead of 10,000, instead it said, okay, how about you type. We only have 2,000 most popular English words. They have to be 5 letters or more. Go. Because then it's like, okay, what is popular enough? And you have that as a parameter. And all of a sudden, it's not a shortcoming. It's a fun thing. So I think that was more like a missed opportunity, because implementation was there, but it wasn't sold as this is the thing. Yeah. Okay, then. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be very. Yeah, it could be far more pop and more like current and relevant, right? Then I do like that you try to really hack it. Like conundrum is like I think I met 2 people in my life that says that word out loud, so I applaud that. But it's a little bit Columbo. It's a conundrum to me. Now
I don't know where that came from. I'm sorry. I was under such stress that I'm still. I can still feel my blood pumping.
You should have been typing really poorly. No, I'll give it 2 on the idea, but I almost wanted to give it a 3 on execution, because they actually tried to do some technical stuff, like doing search matching and stuff like that, which it's from a long list of things that require something to do it. So I think that's where I'm on the spectrum as well. So 2 for idea and then 3 for execution on my sense.
I would say the same. I would also then give it a 2. But I also just had this idea coming back to the idea of saying like only the top 100 words on the internet. And then like imagine that was a game show where you could win a lot of money, but then your kid is sitting next to you and you have to come up with the top 100 words searched on the internet, which are, you know, a good portion of those 100 words would probably be
in his
lewd.
vocabulary.
Or, you know, maybe not something you necessarily want to like type out in front of your kid.
Vegan travel.
So like trying to find the words that are not sexually explicit among those top 100, that would be a real
that'll be a real thing.
I don't know, nail biter of a game.
Yeah,
they're probably a game show that exists in Japan.
For sure.
Probably like in Japan they do that.
For sure.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Just want to say I'm at time here. I'm a little bit stretched on time, by the way. Just so we can.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
For me, I'm gonna go with a 2. Okay. I could compromise on a 3.
I come at this from a technical point. Like, if I ignored looking at the code, I would probably have said a 2 as well. But because I actually looked and the person sourced the list and lowered the list and tried to, like, I respect that effort of work to get there. As a new person to coding, I think that's why I gave it a 3. But I don't have to convince you.
Okay, 3. I could say 3, but then I could also say this was the only game that had a dead end. It didn't throw you back. It didn't give you like
entertainment. Entertainment. I'm definitely more in the lower end for that one. I agree with that. Actually. I don't know, 1 or 2.
Two?
I'm a little 2.
I'm going with 2.
Yeah.
I'll go with 2 as well. Because I think there could have also been done more on the layout side. I think it was fairly simple. Could have thrown a couple of GIFs in there. And
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, maybe actually in the fast typer game beforehand, like I really like that there was like a GIF when you win. I mean, super simple to put that in, but like I think it's important for making it a game. So I think compared to, we're not comparing, of course, but that was something that, you know, that was a bit of flair that could have been added.
And it's the same feedback. It's funny because we have kind of 2 clusters of similar type of games. I think in that second one, again, the stress element could have been. There was one thing was like, hey, they're like timing is running out. I think they kind of gave you a little bit more of a panic mode. I think they could again be quite creative about like, oh, you know, stuff is like killing, like, you know, it's just like makes me even more panic about writing things. And I think that creates it more for the creativity, but also the entertainment of it. So I think I'm there with agree with you on the creative side, but on entertainment, it felt a little bit low for me. But that's because again, combined with everything, and it's just like I didn't feel like it is hard to say I want to play the game again.
I would give it a 3 in entertainment, but then it helped a lot. No, but just because I gotta be honest, I was the one playing the game. I was entertained while playing it, but it helped to know that it's being recorded for the internet. That I cannot remember any words, and the first words that come out are snake and mouth,
Conundrum.
and then or like whatever. The first 4 attempts were all invalid. So I think that put a good amount of entertainment or pressure on me. So
I had the same with the typer. I don't know how it was looking for you. So maybe it's a 2 on the entertainment, but playing it was more fun probably than watching it. I think that's a fair. It's not all games that are made for watching, to be honest. But, yeah. So 2 on entertainment. For me, there's 2 creativity, 2 entertainment, just for Benjamin's statistics there.
Okay, entertainment score is going to be 3.
I
think.
Oh. Well.
Because actually now that because we had those 2 RPGs, sort of have your cup of tea and think kind of, you know, take it easy. And then we had 2 FPSs where you have 2 different approaches of going fast. One is just fast. This one is fast and thinking. It's an extra layer. It has, it worked. It didn't break. It didn't have an ending, but it didn't break. I think it sold itself short for, like, I think with a better marketing around it, it could have highlighted certain things as features instead of quirks. So overall, actually, I quite liked it.
I have an idea, Benjamin, just popped in my head. If they're gonna get this feedback, they all iterate on it. I would actually like to test these games again at some point. Like, it doesn't need to be 3 weeks, like a month or 2 for now, to like take some of this thing in. Then it would be fun to see if our process are right, because we might be completely wrong, right? But yeah. Should we announce the winner? I'm sorry, I'm a little bit crazy. I have, like, family standing outside waiting for me here, so
No.
Brutal.
very close race. Very close race. I actually like that one. I like that game. I think it was simple. I think it was a great game. I think execution, creativity. I think it is the winner. I think the lower two, if they just hit that, like it worked, it was a little bit more tight together, I think they would have been winners somehow, because it was a little bit more out there, or the more like challenging. But they just kind of, like, as you said before, is like they went for the moon and kind of failed. But that's, that's what you have to do sometimes.
I guess what got it the win was a talent for scoping, knowing that in 2.5 weeks, what can I build well, and then just like aiming low and then hitting the target.
100%. That is a extremely valuable lesson there. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I agree also.
Yeah. But then applause for sure.
And actually, I will go have dinner with Magnus now, Andreas.
Oh, nice.
I appreciate it. It was so much fun. Let's do this. I will love to do this again.
Yeah, let's see the iterations soon. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Great, thanks.
Take care.